We're about to break down one of the craziest tricks that was ever landed in snowboarding. The moose flip landed by Eli. I'm going to link his Instagram below because this trick is groundbreaking at NBD and no one's done anything like it. I'm absolutely in love and luckily the judges are too. They scored this in 93. He did a perfect back 19 after this and that scored like a 95. So this is scoring better than an 1800. What's awesome to see. That means we're going to see more stuff like this in the Olympics. And that means that Eli here is actually going to have a great chance with this super unique trick. And in this video, we're going to break down how this trick works so we can go incorporate some of these moves, techniques in our own riding. That said, I don't think there's going to be many people looking to actually try this trick. Give me 10 years on the airbag, and I would not be trying this trick. It looks so scary and gnarly, but the fundamental principles it uses are actually very familiar and common. So we're going to go and break that down, starting with the takeoff. The takeoff is thrown as a front roll. Front rolls are like a front flip where you go and keep your chest open and keep your eyes forward. And they're one of the most interesting tricks in snowboarding because they rely on a different technique than most other maneuvers. See how he's going and having his hips completely hinged forward? This is usually a big no-no in snowboarding because it goes and limits your power. But if you try to throw a front flip and you're completely straight and tall, it's going to make it so you need to go and round, and that's going to make it so your head won't be able to hold this straight forward position and you won't be able to get your chest open. So the solution is going and hinging forward and opening your hips, opening your chest, and trying to get that rotation preemptively so when you pop up, your head can see straight. They're sort of doing it like a backside Miller flip. Uh, like think about it this way. If this hand went right here and this hand reached around, the legs extended a little bit, that'd be pretty much textbook backside Miller flip form. So the key to doing the front roll is to get really good at backside Miller flips. And then the main difference is instead of going and extending and making yourself taller, instead you want to bring in that back shoulder, and that's going to go and help you dip with that momentum causing the flip and the roll to happen. And the way we can tell that this is more of a spin motion than a flip motion is because of how he's upside down. If he was doing just a straight up front flip, his board would still be in a straight line here, but because it's rotated the whole 90, so like the 270 if we're using trick terms here, that means that he's spinning like a 360. And then this motion here, the craziest part of the trick, the counter rotated 180 halfway through. This is really gnarly, but the way he does it makes it look easy and makes sense. It's going to cut to a better camera angle, but basically what he's doing is swiveling his hips a 180. This looks absolutely maddening, but it's actually a very common maneuver you see in gymnastics. Have you ever done a bum drop and then twisted your hips and rotated a 180? That's basically what he's doing here. He starts sitting down like his bum drop, goes and extends his body, and once his body extends, he goes and whips it around at 180. Bum drop, 180 twist. You can go and practice this formation just on a trampoline, just on ground. Try to jump up straight in the air and then twist yourself around a 180. What super impressive part of this is how he manages to keep his head position in a spot. See how his spot is pointed forward? He's holding that spot throughout the transition. So even though he's switching axes, switching what kind of flip he's doing, his head's staying relatively centered, giving him good air awareness. And the last part of his trick is the double crippler. The double crippler is a pretty gnarly trick. I've never done it before. Sorry, I just need a sip of water. But how it works is not like a straight up double backflip. And the main difference is instead of going and throwing with your head straight backwards, you're trying to dip your chin into your shoulder. The reason why you're doing this is because that lets you go and spot the landing a little bit sooner. If your spot is towards the shoulder, that's going to let you spot around here. Where if you're spotting straight over backwards, you're going to be blind for this big portion of a rotation, and that's going to make it so you don't spot as long, and you're having a moment of not knowing where you are, and that's going to really limit your power. So we'll go through that one more time. So he goes and uses the bum drop trick, pulls in, and then tucks his shoulder and pulls into a double crippler motion. Could also be like very similar to the second part of like a dub Misty 9, where you go and pull over at shoulder. Very similar to that. So pretty similar to like a backside triple 12. You would get comfortable with this kind of rotation. And then I absolutely love this landing. He just comes in, boom, stomps it. So much impact, so much control. The reason why he's getting this control is a couple of points. Let's go and break down how he's going and absorbing this. First, he's letting the upper body continue rotating. This is just to make sure that he doesn't have any rotational momentum coming into the jump, letting his legs stand completely straight. When you're taking this much impact, you need your board to be in a straight line because any angle is going to go and really up the amount of impact you're receiving. And then the next really important part here is his upper body positioning. So his upper body set over his toe edge, and that's making it so like his chest is over his knees. This is the stack position that you want to be using on your takeoff, in the air, everything. This balance point with this little bit hinge here is the most powerful position in snowboarding. And that's because it lets you go and squat your weight down while keeping that same balance point. So see how his edge starts lifting up? This is because as he squats down, he's loading more and more pressure onto the balls of his feet, and he's able to go and continue loading down and get this low while being balanced because he's maintaining that balance point. And that's how all landings work. You go and try to land with your center of weight set on one point, the balls of your feet, and you try to then keep your weight set on that same point as you go and absorb the impact. Going and making it so you absorb it into that straight line with no extra movement makes it so you better stop your momentum and easier control landing. So if you can go and squat down into like as smooth as a position as possible, keeping your weight set over the same point, it's going to let you take a lot larger impacts. And this is just that done to the most crazy degree. Like, this is stomped so well. Massive congratulations. I'm glad this is scoring well, and I'm glad it's being rewarded because this is one of the coolest tricks I've ever seen, and I lost my mind the first time I saw it, and I think I'll continue to lose my mind every time I see it. The only other rider I think ever has a chance of doing this is maybe Dusty Hendrickson if he really wants to go grind out some airbag. I would love to see Dusty pull up with one of these, but for now, it's only one man in the world, Eli, and he's the only dude doing it. So go show him some love, give him a follow on Instagram because man, he sure earned it, and he's gonna do so much more cool stuff.